Welcome back to another tale of airport antics, where retro gaming and entitled parents collide in a layover saga. Strap in as we navigate the unexpected turbulence caused by Castlevania, a curious kid, and his less than understanding mother. Yeah, I'm back. And with another entitled parent encounter. I seem cursed of this sort of thing, because almost the exact situation repeated itself. I was travelling for work again, and cutting things close to be home for Christmas. This time it happened on a layover on my way home. My next flight wasn't to be for a few hours, so I did my usual of finding an airport cafe and plugging in my personal laptop so I would not run the battery dry. This time I was playing Castlevania Legacy of Darkness. I really enjoy playing as Henry, even though his quest is so much shorter because he actually uses a gun. I had to wear headphones to avoid disturbing anyone, but eventually I felt a small hand tugging at my pant leg. It was a small boy, probably a bit younger than the one from the last time I posted. He pointed out the bright red game controller I was using and asked what it was. He thought it was for an Xbox. Internally, I was mildly offended by that, being the retro Nintendo fan I am. But only a complete jerk would be angry at a kid for not knowing about something that existed before they were born. Plus, it's not like all people in my day were Nintendo fans. Yeah, I was one of those guys who got in console debates. And even though I never got a chance to really click with the Super Nintendo, I still defended it against the Sega Genesis, though not on a console wars level. I let my friends do those debates. Back to the situation in the airport, I was tired and not in the mood to be bothered. So I politely asked the kid to please go back to his parents and leave me be. He just stared at me like what I said didn't register. So I asked again, and when that didn't work, I asked a nearby employee for help and a coffee refill. The employee found the kid's mother nearby and ushered the boy back to her. Moments later, I was being confronted by an EM dressed in all black and white, while red in the face like a bad newspaper headline, and was demanding to know what my problem was. I can't just play video games in public and expect to not attract the attention of children. I sighed because I knew exactly where this was going. Not my first rodeo after all. But in most other situations like this, I usually just get a dirty glare from the EP. But after the incident in which an EM destroyed my laptop, I was much more on guard. I stood up and told her it was not my job to entertain her child. It's not the job of the cafe employees or other people in the cafe either. It was her job. Either bring something for her kid to game on, or find a way to entertain him herself. I don't care, but leave me out of it. She acted extremely offended and called me a giant man-baby. I told her that was exactly the sort of thing a Karen would say, which only angered her further. Soon, the same employee was back and tried to break things up. She politely asked us both to calm down, but the EM refused and said I should be thrown out for insulting her. I finally had enough and said I sued the last person like her who demanded I entertain their son because they broke my computer and got arrested. And there are cameras all around us to see who started what. So go ahead, try me. The EM started huffing, and I calmed down enough to sit back down and act polite enough, say to please just leave me alone. The employee sided with me and asked her the spy to just calm down and leave me be. The EM huffed and dragged her kid away by the hand while he cried about the games. For a good while she was repeatedly glaring at me. Her son played on what I assume was her phone, which meant she had nothing to do herself. But then they left, and later came back with a colouring book and a fresh pack of crayons I think she grabbed at the overpriced gift shop. And her son played with that till it was time to go. This isn't quite over though. That EM was somehow on the same flight as me, which made the EM target me during boarding. She made sure to be as close to me as possible, and her little boy had nasty gas, so he kept farting right in my direction. But I stayed silent, and I kept my sunglasses on so she could not see where I was looking. She tried acting smug looking back at me, but the smugness was short-lived as I made sure to act completely indifferent and silent to not show any irritation. Someone else called her out on her kids farting too, and she had a short argument with them about it. She later seemed to look like she sucked on a lemon as she saw I got to board before her to go to business class. and she had to board for coach a few minutes later. She mouthed a cent dollar and why and at as she went by my aisle seat. I was off the flight before the EM, so I didn't see her again when leaving the airport. When my wife picked me up, I told her what happened. She rolled her eyes and called me a Karen magnet. I hope you all enjoyed that tale of retro gaming and airport drama. Remember to stay cool and collected in the face of entitled parents, just like our storyteller did, and I'll see you in the next video with more intriguing stories to share.